वेलकम टु द गुड हेल्थ म हुँ निस्मा र आज हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ डाक्टर स्मृति श्रेष्ठ असिस्टेन्ट प्रोफेसर हुनुहुन्छ उहाँ असिस्टेन्ट प्रोफेसर अफ डर्माटोलोजी धुलीखेल हस्पिटलमा र आज उहाँ हामीसँग बसेर स्किन केयर तथा स्किन अब सम्बन्धी अन्य समस्याहरू के छन् र त्यसलाई कसरी समाधान गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ बसेर मजाले कुरा गर्नुहुन्छ वेलकम टु द पडकास्ट
Thank you, Nishmaji. Thank you for the invite.
हाउ आर यू
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. So the only thing that we can say right now is we're okay until now.
Till now. Yes, exactly.
Okay. So let's dig into the topic. है अब डर्माटोलोजी भनेपछि स्किन हेयर यो सम्बन्धी रहन्छ होइन मलाई चाहिँ अब हुन त वी क्यान डिग इन्टु डिपर प्रब्लम्स तर मलाई कस्तो लाग्छ भन्दाखेरि देयर आर लट अफ बेसिक थिङ्स द्याट अ पर्सन इज सपोज टु डु हामीले दिनानुदिन चाहिँ केही कामहरू गर्न सक्छौँ आफ्नो छालालाई राम्रो बनाउनलाई भनौँ न अनि धेरैजना चाहिँ त्यो गल्ती पनि गर्नुहुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ तर अब यहाँले चाहिँ आफ्नो तर्फबाट बेसिक स्किन टिप्स दिँदाखेरि चाहिँ के दिनुहुन्छ होला वी वान्ट टु स्टार्ट विथ द्याट
Okay. Thank you for your question. Basically, skin भनेको चाहिँ it's the outermost organ. What most of us don't usually understand or we usually take it for granted is that skin is the outermost organ. It's the largest organ of the body, and it's the first defense against anything external, be it heat, be it wind, air, or be it even moisture, heat, and temperature in that matter, like changes of temperature. It's very much responsive to everything. That's why, so it is the first defense. That's why it's very important for us to take care of the skin, and not just skin of the face, but the entire body as well.
Exactly.
Most people usually ignore the body. That's why
they forget that skin is the whole body.
Yes. So that's why in the long run, when we get into our 30s and 40s, we start developing skin problems, rashes, allergies, so many things because of the problems in the skin. So the first thing that I want everyone to understand is something called skin barrier. Skin barrier is like it's the external outermost covering in the skin that is made up of lipids and proteins. Lipids means oils. So there's a barrier like this of the oil that should not be broken. That's the first mistake young girls these days are doing. They're like stripping the oil off by doing over exfoliation. They're trying to be some people who think they're doing skincare very rightly and they're following the YouTube channels and doing layers and layers of skincare. That alone is actually hampering their skin. So first thing, don't mess with the barrier. Do not trigger your immune system by like over exfoliation over exaggerating the barrier defense. So the question comes whether exfoliation is good or bad. So exfoliation in itself is not bad. We do exfoliation because above that lipid layer there are dead cells that usually exfoliate by themselves. They exfoliate and go into the nature invisibly on their own. So sometimes those cells can layer on top of each other, creating a dead layer, and then the penetration of the creams that we use might be hampered. It might be lessened because of the dead cell accumulation. So in those cases, it's good to exfoliate. So how often can we exfoliate? In my opinion, I think we should not be exfoliating more than once a month. If you exfoliate like for example in some people who have acne, they can exfoliate twice a month, but then I don't think that you should be doing more than that, or you should not be using harsh exfoliants or scrubs that are available anywhere in the market. You should first do the study about the exfoliants that are available and how deep it goes, how abrasive it is. So lots of things matter. That's why don't exfoliate too hard. That is one no-go for me. Second, other things that you should not be doing is using lemon directly on your face, using onion directly on your hair, using ginger on your face, onion on your face just because it worked for somebody else. Every human being is different. Likewise, every skin type is different. So depending on your skin type, just because something worked for your friend or something worked for your mom doesn't necessarily mean that it should work for you. So maybe these things should not be done. And other things, these are the, I think, major things that are a no-go.
Okay. You said a couple of things about exfoliating. What is the best way to exfoliate our skin once a month?
Best way? I would go for a medical grade product. I would recommend Retiderm or a tretinoin. I would recommend a tretinoin. If not tretinoin, then there are medical procedures that we know that how much of depth it goes. For example, there's a procedure called medical peel or a chemical peel, and it is scientifically proven in thousands and thousands of people that it reaches a particular depth. For example, if I talk about glycolic acid, 35% of glycolic acid would only penetrate the first layer of the skin, but when you increase the strength, it would penetrate deeper. So when you're using a product that are available in the market and the strength is not given, so how do you know how far it is going? So in my opinion, as a doctor, I would recommend with a medical grade product. I wouldn't recommend something out of the box. I wouldn't recommend something that is not medical.
सो अब एक्सफोलिएटिङको कुरा गर्नुभयो यहाँले होइन तर वर्षौँदेखि चाहिँ अब हामीले पहिलेदेखि देखिरहेको हुन्छ क्लेन्जिङ दिस इज अल्सो आई थिङ्क एक्सफोलिएसनको एउटा प्रोसेसै हो जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई स्पेसली फेसियल होइन सो देयर लट अफ थिङ्स द्याट a lot of women do होइन यो अनि chemical peel मा चाहिँ what kind of difference is there and which one is better अनि is facial really good because there's a lot of squeezing and
yes
pulling
again
of the skin happens which
again,
is I'm not very sure if it's good or not.
Yes, it's actually very much individualized, because like somebody might have lots of pimples, lots of big breakouts, and then you're doing facials on top of that. It is only going to spread the bacteria and cause more of acne. And somebody might have normal gentle skin, for example an elderly lady who doesn't have any problem of acne or pigmentation, but she does have that skin because older we get, the skin does get to accumulate. The exfoliation process gets like older, so it doesn't exfoliate as effectively as in a young person. So that lady might benefit if you're doing facials on time, like
Okay.
So it's completely individualized. So I cannot really comment on these things is good or this is bad unless there's a scientific medical basis behind it. So the chemical peels, how are they different, how are they better? Because there is a science behind it to back it up. Like there's years and years of science. Unless it is proven in different phases. For example, I'll just like to give you an example of the COVID vaccine. Why hasn't the vaccine come till now? Because it has been proven in different phases, but it's not proven in a mass scale. So the things that we have right now, like chemical peels, be it Botox, fillers, these have been like American FDA approved. This has been approved after steps of scientifically followed trials and trials and evidences. That's why I would personally prefer a chemical peel against any other procedure that you would do at home.
Right.
Honestly,
Right.
I've just done one facial in my life, just once before my marriage.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it. That's it.
You have a beautiful skin, by the way.
Thank
I think
you.
that's the first thing that people notice when they meet a
Dermatologist.
and that's the first thing. So when you meet a yoga teacher, you'll just look at their body from up,
Yes,
top to bottom. That's a wrong thing to do because everyone
Yes.
has some problem which.
We're not perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's perfect. So like doctor said, धेरै यस्तो प्रडक्टहरू जुन पनि मेडिकल प्रडक्ट्सहरू हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ धेरै रिसर्च पछि होइन फेजेस अफ फेजेसको रिसर्च पछि चाहिँ त्यसलाई चाहिँ प्रुभ गरिन्छ त्यो प्रुभ गरिसकेपछि चाहिँ धेरैजनामा प्रुभ गरिसकेपछि हेरेर अप्रुभ गरिसकेपछि चाहिँ बल्ल त्यसलाई चाहिँ ल्याइन्छ जसको कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ केमिकल पिलिङहरूलाई चाहिँ डक्टरहरूले चाहिँ रेकमेन्ड गर्नुहुन्छ यो चाहिँ अब उहाँहरूको भनाइरहेको छ होइन दिस वान थिङ आई थिङ्क इट कम्स अन्डर मिथ ओर it may or may not be
Maybe
myth, but
true.
I really have this thing in my head. How much does food affect the skin?
It does, to a very large extent. Actually, nutrition is the latest form of research that's happening in skin and hair. And then it's really, I'm very fascinated with the new research that keep coming. So it's now been proven that even your hair fall, to your skin, to everything, the oil activity, even the amount of oil produced in your skin is directly linked to the kind of food that you take. For example, you take high carb diet, you're taking diet that's rich in carbohydrate. That carbohydrate needs something called insulin that needs to be taken it into the body. So that insulin would directly activate your oil glands. So there is a link in people with acne, in people with certain disorders. There is a link to both worsening as well as protective effect. Worsening is done in cases of acne, while protective effects are seen in many, many diseases. There are so many diseases and so many conditions like hair fall there are diseases, I don't know whether I should take the name of the diseases, like for example, alopecia areata, vitiligo. Vitiligo bhaneko dubi. So even in dubi, there are so many like food habits that help or deteriorate it.
Okay.
So of course there is a link. Your food does reflect in your skin. Yes.
Sounds very good. Maybe that's why a lot of nutritionists, dietitians, they recommend fruits.
Yes,
a lot of
course.
fruit, which is
Yes.
very good for your skin. There's one common thing that I've been hearing since I was a very young kid. चिया खायो भने चाहिँ स्किन खराब हुन्छ भन्ने थियो.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. But then again, it's tricky. It's tricky because caffeine has
exactly.
good medical evidence for skin and hair. Caffeine for hair, actually there are researches that are done in India. One of our senior professors had done a research in caffeine lotion for hair loss, and it has proven to be almost, not exactly, but almost as equivalent to the most powerful lotion that's available right now. So caffeine as a lotion, caffeine as skincare regime, it works. It has good antioxidant property, and even interestingly, there was one seminar by some Harvard university students in our hospital a few months back, and they had done a research, and according to their research, 4 cups of black coffee, not milk, 4 cups of black coffee in a day used to reduce diabetes as well as many metabolic disorders.
Oh.
So it's coming up. It's not bad. So tea, green tea is definitely good. Even the black tea that we take, it's good. But then the milk tea, if we take it in a milk format, what happens is that there's something called phytates that are present. So it will inhibit the absorption of iron and calcium that we take. So it depends on when you take it. If you take it without any other food, it's fine. But sometimes it might decrease the absorption of certain important nutrients like iron and calcium, which is required for both hair and for the body. So it's like you have to know what it does.
Ah, okay. This is very interesting. I really wanted to talk about these things with doctor because, you know, growing up, you hear a lot of things. जस्तै spicy food धेरै खायो भने पनि छाला खराब हुन्छ हैन, पिरो अमिलो धेरै खायो भने छाला खराब हुन्छ, हुँदैन.
No, not at all.
Not
But
at all.
spicy food is linked to one of the skin diseases called urticaria, where there are rashes that can happen in those people. So it's not in everyone, but it does worsen in people who have history of allergies in the family. Yes.
Okay, so that's a different case
Yes, it's a
altogether.
different case.
So त्यो हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ अलिकति
Partially true. People have said out of experience, they've seen things happening in generations. So there's a new school of thought that there are so many Eastern medicines that are being tried in Western literature right now. They're working on ginger, they're working on onion, and when you formulate it correctly, it does work. So that is also, we cannot completely deny the experience that our like parents and like great grandfathers had for generations, but it's not completely true. There is individualized for everyone.
Okay. What do you think of the DIYs that is very
God.
popular these days? You know, how many
my
cases
God.
do you see normally where people do the DIYs and ruin themselves completely and then come to you?
It's very common. It's extremely common, and we are like tired. Like nowadays, it has become so common that every other patient comes and tells you about what he or she saw in YouTube, or that somebody experienced this in YouTube and it works. So it's very difficult for us to explain. So since I'm sharing a lot of medical studies, I just like to share that the American Journal of Dermatology, that's one of the like very respected journals, it has recently published a study on authenticity of YouTube channels. Sorry to say, but like the authenticity of non-medical people posting about medical things,
Yeah.
it was significantly low.
Okay.
Significantly incorrect information going out in the public by big YouTubers who have lots of big followers,
Big
with
number
big
of
chunk of
followers.
followers, and they have even done comparative study, like the doctors had like 300 followers while the non-doctors have millions of followers, but the content is not correct.
Of course.
So that we face daily, that kind of things.
भनेपछि अब युट्युब हेरेर चाहिँ अब यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ त्यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुरा हेरिसक्दाखेरि चाहिँ एकचोटि त्यसमा अझै डिप रिसर्च चाहिँ
Yes.
आफैले नै गर्नुपर्छ. You have to do your own research. Also, yeah, this subscriber and follower thing is totally ruining
Yes.
the whole
It's
world
maths.
right now.
Yes.
अनि अब छाला र उसको
हजुर.
कुरामा त यहाँले भनि नै हाल्नुभयो. So do you think like these things need to be stopped completely, or
I don't know. I think it's a big consumer business, consumerism related business, which I don't think we can control. And the more the world will be digitalized, this is just going to increase. So I think it's up to that individual person who does the kind of research before putting something on the skin, hair, or the matter of fact in your body. So I think you should be more aware.
you should be aware
Rather
by,
than stopping.
by yourself.
Yes.
I think you should do better research before you apply onion on your skin directly. I guess.
No, not at all. No, you should not do that. No.
Okay. So there's one more thing, one more topic that I really wanted to discuss today is about plastic surgeries and you know all these, which in my head is a very artificial way
Yes.
of you know taking care of
Presenting.
yourself. Even fillers and things like that.
Mhm.
You know. So what is your take on that?
Being a dermatologist, I cannot say it's completely bad, but then I also do believe, I actually tell my patients that as long as it doesn't bother you to an extreme extent, don't do it. Like for example, we have done so many studies where people have shown that their self-esteem and the way they look at themselves and how they are able to work, even their quality of life and the quality of work is hampered by their perception of themselves. There's something called body dysmorphic disorder. Body dysmorphic disorder means you don't see yourself correctly.
Yes.
So if it affects you to an extent where it like hampers your daily routine, then you can do it. Otherwise, from safety point of view, they're completely safe. But otherwise, I wouldn't actually recommend everybody to go ahead like the way they're doing right now.
So-
It might be wrong from a dermatologist's point of view. Other dermatologists might not agree, but I think you can stay as natural as you can, in my opinion.
Okay. So it has increased in recent years.
Oh, of course, it has increased. Like I have my maybe 5 or 10 fillers for next 5 days. It's increased many, like manifolds.
Wow. Okay. So I personally really feel that plastic surgery is a boon. To be very honest, because
Okay.
there are
Yes.
people like acid attack survivors or people who have burns. Maybe that is when plastic surgeries can
Yes.
come really handy.
Yes, of course, it's good because what God did not give you, plastic surgery can give you. There's that
That's a-
famous saying. But like, of course, it works. It's good. I wouldn't say it's bad. Of
Mm.
course, it's safe from the safety point of view. The only concern I think right now is safety. From safety point of view, it's completely safe. I've attended operations in China as well as in Bangkok, so they're completely safe and very good. But then it's individual take. I wouldn't like push or recommend anyone to go ahead as long as it doesn't affect you,
Okay.
in my opinion.
No, like I said, it's a boon if you know if there's been some sort of accident, you know, and you'd like
Yes.
to maybe just get back to how you were before the accident and stuff, maybe acid attack or burns and stuff. I think that's when plastic surgery can come really handy.
Yes.
That's what I was about to say. But yes, I like that line that
Yes.
comes with
What
plastic
does that?
surgery, plastic surgery every time. So. There are a few things that I wanted to know more about about fillers and Botox, because a lot of people are doing it, and I have somewhere, somewhat seen and felt that Botox eventually does not do really good to your skin. So you have to keep on doing it, and your skin just
It's like you're
tane
brushing your
tane
teeth.
ko tane.
No, it's like you're brushing your teeth. If you
Okay.
stop brushing, you'll get caries. That's how it is.
Oh really? So
I
you
hope
make
you
it
got my
sound
point.
So simple.
Yes, no, seriously,
simple.
because Botox is something that doesn't spread beyond 1 centimeter of where you put it. So it's a very safe thing. We're just trying to relax your muscles. And the beauty of Botox is, actually I've also done it myself, even
Okay.
though I told like not to do, but then I'm already 37, so I have to do it.
Wow, you
So-
don't look 37.
Thank you.
I'm a camera bias.
Okay. So so what I'm saying is, like, the beauty of Botox and fillers is that it's like only replacing what you've lost. Right? Botox doesn't just make you plastic face, or it doesn't make you like very tight or anything. It just keeps things in balance. And another beautiful thing, what I like about Botox is, like, when you keep doing it, the interval increases. Like when you used to do it earlier at 3 months, now you can do it at 6 months. Your skin is more relaxed, your muscles are more relaxed. So the dose and the frequency decreases over time. I have patients who are in their 60s and they've been doing it for years, and then for 6 months, 8 months, their Botox is still there. So
Okay.
it's not something that will keep on increasing and it'll keep on damaging your body or your skin. And same goes for fillers. Fillers are just materials. They are just the liquefied version of things that are there in your skin, which were there. They're being depleted over the years, and it's just replenishing it. And using these fillers will create some scaffolds that will maintain the youth. So
Okay.
these are cosmetic, but not. I think they're quite safe. So it's okay if you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's also okay. But if you want to do it, I see no point, no harm in doing it.
No, so what I can make out from what you're saying is, if we don't do it regularly, we rather not start.
No, it's not like that. Like, you can do it before parties, you can do it for your pores, you can do it for a glow, like before you get married, for a certain period of time. Just because you start and you stop doesn't mean it's going to make it worse. Actually, I'll share you one more medical research that was done on twin girls. One did Botox for 18 years, the other one did not do it. So the dramatic difference in their appearance after 18 years. And then when we did the skin biopsy, you take out the skin, and then you see it in microscope. So microscopic biopsy showed that the collagen content, the skin health content, was much better in the girl who did Botox. So
Okay.
from that point of view, you cannot say that it's going to worsen it. That's a myth. It's a complete myth. It's not going to worsen it. Just like if you do it for 5 years, you'll at least look 5 years younger. Like you do it at 33 and do it till 37. Stop at 37. At 37, you at least you look 33.
So it's
So
a
you're
better way
aging
of,
like that.
better way of looking.
Yes.
Looking young.
Yes, you're halting your chronological age as long as you do it.
Maybe I can start that now. What is the best way to start going to doctors for these kind of procedures?
Yes. First, the doctor has to be trained. That's very important. If the doctor is not trained, even with Botox, you can have something like spokes brow, one brow is here, one brow somewhere else.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I've seen all of that
Yes.
in pictures, and
Yes.
I've seen that in actresses, models.
yes, yes.
that is why I put up that question.
Yes.
So yes.
You have to know where the doctor got trained from, because in MD we don't get trained for these things. When we do MD, I have distinction in MD in KU, but then during my whole course of MD, I didn't get to learn any of that. So I had to take further courses. I went to many places. I went to India, I went to China, I went to Bangkok, I even went to US. So you have to like keep doing it, and then you have to see how long of experience, how many patients the doctor has done. The best thing is ask for a picture of your patient, like please show me your previous patients, and ask about everything, what kind of side effects can happen. So and you do your research first. I think for procedures you have to do your research. You can go to YouTube for that, but you have to do your research, I think.
ओके भनेपछि यहाँहरूलाई यस्तो किसिमको केही प्रोसिजर गर्न जान इच्छा छ भने चाहिँ यहाँहरूले पहिला सुरु चाहिँ डक्टरको बारेमा जानकारी लिनुपर्ने भयो, डक्टरले कहाँ सिकेर आउनु भएको रहेछ भनेर जानकारी लिनु पर्ने भयो, किनभने यो बोटोक्स फिलर्स यस्तो कुराहरू चाहिँ डक्टरलाई एमडीमा सिकाइँदैन रहेछ. माई गॉड, डक्टर्स लाइफ इज रियली टफ.
आई एम स्टिल स्टार्टिङ.
एक्ज्याक्टली. सो त्यो सबै हेरेर साथै उहाँहरूको पेसेन्टको फोटोहरू, पहिलाको पेसेन्टको फोटोहरू हेर्नेदेखि लिएर होइन, अनि त्यसपछि अझै साइड इफेक्ट्सहरू पनि सोधेर धेरै प्रश्नहरू सोधेर मात्रै गर्नुभयो भने चाहिँ बेटर हुन्छ. नभए एउटा अघि उहाँले भनेजस्तो एउटा आइब्रो यता होइन, एउटा आइब्रो यता त्यस्तो पनि हुन सक्ला है.
Fillers are more dangerous from that point of view. Much more dangerous than Botox. Botox is at least just visual. Fillers can have complications, like they can go into your vessels. Lots of complications with fillers.
Okay.
So you have to be careful when you do it.
Okay. Yes, be very careful. So my question was, what is the right age to go to a skin doctor? Just to start showing my skin and get my skin checked regularly. What is the best age?
Actually, I think there is no best age, because if you have acne, you can go at 13. Even 13 years, 15 years girls keep coming when they have acne. And if you don't have any issues, if you are looking for anti-aging, then first you can start with few basic anti-agings, which I think by now everybody knows, like sunscreen, moisturizers, tretinoin or retinol, and face wash or cleansers. These are the 4 basic things that you can start with at any age, especially after 20. So for anti-aging purposes, you can visit a doctor if you see any fine lines. For example, I have done Botox in a 22 years old girl who had crow's feet, that lines when you smile. She had big lines and she was really bothered. So it depends. And there are women who are in their 30s who don't have a single wrinkle. So it depends again. So it's individualized. I cannot say this age you have to go. It's not like that.
Okay. No, I just wanted to know, because in our society generally we aren't very encouraged to go to doctor. I'm sure you're aware of it. So I just wanted to know, हाम्रो समाजमा चाहिँ धेरै जस्तो अब डक्टर कहाँ गइहाल्नुपर्छ छाला देखाउन भन्ने किसिमको एउटा ट्रेन्ड छैन के. अनि मैले बुझेअनुसार चाहिँ अब 20 को भइसकेपछि चाहिँ डक्टर कहाँ गइरहने रेगुलरली भनौँ न, मेबी 6 महिनामा गइरहँदाखेरि चाहिँ उहाँले तपाईँलाई तपाईँको छालामा केही छैन भने पनि तपाईँको छालामा हुने किसिमको सनब्लक अथवा होइन कुनै किसिमको के भन्छ क्रिम्सहरू चाहिँ रेकमेन्ड गर्नुभयो भने त्यो एउटा बानी बस्दै जान्छ. एन्ड आफ्टर 25 इट्स गोना कम भेरी ह्यान्डी जस्तो लागेर चाहिँ.
And you'll be more aware as well. As you visit more, you'll know more. And actually the trend has changed. There's so many young girls who come for just for skincare. They are coming actually now. The younger ones.
I think we should thank YouTube for that as well, because I think it's the social media which is actually totally hyping girls to take care of themselves. But I'm 27 and I remember I was not told to go to doctor at the age of 18. At the age of 18 I was told that होइन यो मेरोमा त आफै राम्रो भइरहेछ नि छाला हैन 18 मा पनि राम्रो भएन भने कहिले हुन्छ भन्ने किसिमको. तर आफ्नो शरीरमा के गइरहेको छ हैन, खाना कस्तो भइरहेको छ, त्यसले कस्तो असर परिरहेछ भन्ने कुराको चाहिँ अलि त्यति नलेजै हुँदैन के. Though I was quite a rebel and I went to doctor. So yeah, just letting you know. And this topic is a very
large topic
and a very fun one for me, because I really want to look at the mirror every time you say skin. Every time you say acne, you say lines. I just want to go and look at the mirror.
I think you look fine. You don't have to worry right now.
It's quite distracting topic. That's what I wanted to say.
And one more thing I'd like to tell young girls: please don't look at the mirror so close up so many times. Please, it's like one single blemish and they come running to the doctors. It's okay to have little bit of imperfections, little bit of imperfections is fine, I think.
No, I'm completely fine with this. I mean, I have freckles,
I
have a bit of pores, uneven skin tone, but I'm okay with it because, see, nothing is flawless, okay?
Yeah, of course. Even Kim Kardashian's one image had come and her pores were visible from a distance and it was everywhere in internet. So, of course, they're doing millions of dollars investment and then still they do have pores. So, it's okay.
It's just natural. It's just part of your body. If you don't have pores, it's actually abnormal
yes.
to not have
Yes,
pores.
of course. Yes.
So okay, let's move on now. कोरोनाको बारेमा कुरा गरौँ अलिकति.
Okay.
I think कोरोनाको समयमा चाहिँ धेरैजनाले डक्टर कहाँ जान पाउनु भएन पहिला
Oh.
सुरु. अर्को कुरो कस्तो लाग्छ मलाई भन्दाखेरि कोरोना भएको कारणले चाहिँ अब यति धेरै कुराहरू थपियो होइन, जसको कारणले चाहिँ छाला, सायद मुख अनुहार छाला चाहिँ अलिकति प्रायोरिटीमा पनि भएन जस्तो
Yes.
लाग्यो. मैले आफैले पनि महसुस गरेँ त्यो कुरा होइन. मैले जति दिन कोरोना फर्स्ट लकडाउनमा घरमा बसेँ, मैले त्यस्तो मोइस्चराइजर दलेर सनब्लकहरू दलेर बसिनँ कि मैले फिल गरेँ त्यो प्रायोरिटी डिफ्रेन्ट भयो. अब काम भएन के भएन होइन, देयर वाज अ लट अफ मेन्टल हुन्छ नि टर्मोइल, देयर वाज अ लट अफ मेन्टल changes and daily changes, routine changes that made me feel that way. So what are the basic problems that people that you've seen in people during corona?
Yes.
Maybe we can talk in extent on this topic.
Yes, actually I've written an article on this, medical article, not a non-medical one. From Nepal, I am there, and we have 2 doctors from India and 1 doctor from Bangladesh. So we have accumulated all the cases that came to us through mobile via teledermatology and seen what kind of cases came through mobiles during COVID-19. So from our perspective and from our own study, the cases of acne, hair loss and hand eczema, the allergies in the hand, have dramatically increased in the COVID-19 era. And another type of skin problems that are skyrocketed is like insect dermatitis. There's something called insect dermatitis. We have small insects that are there in our household, like in under our beds, somewhere in the cockroaches going around. So these things, since we are in the house all day, the amount of hours inside the house, the spent amount inside the house is increased. The household dermatitis have really increased. It can be rashes, it can be some irritation, it can be allergies. Many of that has increased. One. Second, because of consistent hand washing, what happens is when we wash our hands, we're using harsh chemicals that change the pH of the skin. And as I said in the beginning, the skin barrier, the barrier is lost. So when your barrier is lost, any kind of chemical that your hand touches, be it like these things or anything, like even dirt or things that are there in your computer or your mobile screens, all those things enter into the skin and they act as an allergen. We call them allergen. Allergen means these are triggers that increase allergies. So hand dermatitis has increased because of external factors, as well as women working in the houses. They have to wash utensils all the time, cook and feed your family all the time.
All the detergent in the house.
Yes, detergent. And studies have shown that these detergents, as you use them more, they go deeper into the skin. Deeper they go, that worse and more flared up the reaction is. So, and again, there's a component of stress as well. Stress induces any kind of rash, any kind of allergies. So because of all these compound factors, hand allergies have increased dramatically. It's increased tremendously right now. So even 2 or 3 TV anchors have actually written to me about their own hand eczema. So what you can do is, the best way to protect yourself is you take those Vaseline that are available anywhere in the market. So whenever you wash your hand, wash them thoroughly. Don't let that detergent or any kind of soap stay on the hand. Wash them thoroughly with running water. Don't rub or scratch too much, because you're scratching or rubbing too much, you're again disrupting the barrier. So gently let that running water take away all the chemicals, and then use Vaseline. So there's a barrier. You're restoring the barrier with Vaseline, and only on top of that Vaseline you use sanitizer, if you at all has to use a sanitizer. And if you're working at home, use gloves. Do not forget your gloves all the time. That's become a big issue. It's like every other girl literally has hand eczema right now. So this way you can protect yourself and prevent further worsening. But if some people are still having worsening, despite that you're developing big vesicles, we call them vesicles bulla, के भन्छ त्यसलाई फोका, पानी फोकाहरू जस्तो आयो, रफ हुँदै गयो भन्छ, visit a dermatologist. त्यतिखेर चाहिँ.
ओके. सो मेबी बिकज यहाँहरूले पनि धेरै समय बिताइरहनु भएको छ घरमा, आफूले त्यो अब खाना बनाउने ट्रेन्ड पनि अलिक बढिरहेको छ होइन, त्यसले गर्दा पनि होला भाँडा अलिक धेरै भइरहेको होला होइन. आई डोन्ट नो, आइम ट्राइङ टु कनेक्ट द डट कि किन कोरोनाको समयमा बढ्यो भनेर चाहिँ होइन. सो त्यो कारणले हो कि होइन, त्यो भाँडा माझ्ने अथवा त्यो डिटर्जेन्ट हातमा धेरै जाने भइरहेको छ भने चाहिँ पहिला सुरु मजाले हात धुने, धेरै नमार्ने, त्यसले पनि त्यो लेयर जान्छ अरे होइन. सो भ्यासलिन अप्लाई गर्ने, त्यसपछि अनि बल्ल सेनिटाइजर लाउने. सेनिटाइजर लाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ नाङ्गो छालामा नलाउनु भन्ने चाहिँ यहाँ सल्लाह दिनुभएको. सो अलवेज अप्लाई भ्यासलिन, मोइस्चराइजर होइन, एन्ड देन अप्लाई सेनिटाइजर. सो यो चाहिँ एउटा नयाँ मेरो लागि पनि भयो होइन, बिकज आई डोन्ट थिङ्क आई हेभ रियली फोकस्ड अन द्याट पार्ट. थ्याङ्कफुली आई डोन्ट हेभ एक्जेमा.
Eczema, for that matter, doesn't start like initially. It doesn't start right away. It takes years for it to build up. For example, if you have dry skin, I have dry skin. So somebody who has dry skin, and if it's there in your family, the trigger will be triggering the skin on and on and on, and it will take maybe 10 years even. And once it manifests, it is there to stay. Once it starts, it is always there. So once you see the rash, every time you touch the detergent, it will create that kind of allergy. So it's best to avoid even before you have it.
Okay. So the gloves lara para
Yes.
Okay. So we can't say that definitely.
You have
so
to eat.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So there's another common problem that I've seen, and I think girls are making a lot of fun of it in social media. They call it maskne.
It is maskne.
Yeah. It's real.
American Academy of Dermatology says it's
okay.
maskne. Yes.
Because of the mask.
Yes, it is
Maskle
maskne.
गर्दाखेरि भएकोले maskne. So मलाई चाहिँ खासमा सुरुमा जोके जस्तो
It was
लागेको
funny,
थियो.
yes.
It sounded really funny, you know, maskle गर्दा आएर maskne. So this is one common problem that I've seen. Other would be hair fall and problems with hair. So please tell us more about it. I'm sure यहाँले चाहिँ यस्तो केसेसहरु देख्नु नै भएको होला.
So maskne को causes चाहिँ एउटा त occlusion itself. It's increasing the moisture. त्यहाँ सबै sweat हुन्छ. एउटा चाहिँ अघि भनेको जस्तो oil को layer wash off हुने भयो. More sweating, more the washing off of the oil barrier. And when the oil barrier is washed off, your skin will think it's dry and dehydrated, and again it will produce more oil. So there is hyperproduction of oil, and there is reflex overcompensation. That in itself leads to acne. And second thing is, you're not washing your mask. Your people are not washing their mask properly. They're not washing their mask often or not changing it often. And third is worn out masks. When the masks are worn out, if you look at the inside of the mask like these kind of masks, they start producing some fibers when they get older.
Yes.
So these fibers will irritate the skin. So these all things in compound are causing maskne, and it is of course more in those people who have more oily skin. So these people, what you can do is you can wash your face twice a day, like all the time, but also carry a very a cotton hanky, a clean white colored cotton hanky, and try to dab if possible in between, and try to keep your skin free of mask in between, like every 2 to 3 hours, if at all possible. You can, when you are alone or when you are not with people and people are little distance away from you, maybe you can do a breather, have a breather for some time in between, and then use gel-based moisturizers, gel-based sunscreens. Reapply moisturizer in between as well. If earlier you used to reapply your moisturizer only twice a day, now you'll have to use moisturizers more than that, because your skin barrier is gone. Your barrier is every time being stripped off because of the sweat. And last thing, medical solution to that would be tretinoin. Any kind of retinol, you can start a small amount and then add it up. Slowly over 1.5 months to 2 months, the acne will decrease with the tretinoin.
Oh, okay. So thankfully, I haven't seen much of that, maybe because I haven't come out of the house a lot. But यहाँले भन्दै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई डक्टरहरूलाई नै बेसी यो भयो जस्तो लाग्यो, किनभने उहाँहरू नर्सेस मेडिकल हेल्थ वर्कर्स भनौँ होइन, उहाँहरू नै सायद अहिलेको टाइममा फ्रन्ट लाइनमा भएको कारणले गर्दा जतिखेर नि मास्क लगाइरहनु पर्ने. I don't even think they have a lot of time to take care of themselves at this hour, होइन. So
throughout their duty, they cannot take it off.
Exactly.
Like 8 hours duty. I have had so many online consultations of nurses from all over Nepal, and people even have, it's so brutal of the health system for them to give 12 hours duty. People are doing 12 hours duty in that mask and then PPE and then everything.
I heard that they wear diapers inside.
Not yet in Nepal, unless you are in ICU.
Right.
If you are in COVID ICU, isolation COVID ward, if you're there for 6 hours, you can't take it off. But otherwise, in other general wards, we are still wearing PPE. Even here, I am wearing PPE when I see patients. So if you're wearing it for a prolonged period, it causes lots of issues. It even worsens fungal infection, for that matter. Like the fungal infection that happens in the groins and all, it worsens because of excessive sweating. That's more now because of corona. Among health workers who are wearing PPE all the time.
Oh, okay. So what can we do about that?
Get treated. That has to be treated. It's a fungal infection. You have to get treated.
You have to visit a doctor.
Yes, you have to visit a doctor.
There's no other way to get treated from.
You cannot. I don't think you should take that risk in case of fungal infections.
Okay. What about hair? What are the hair problems that people call you with, doctor?
Hair is my favorite topic. In fact, I love hair because partly because I do hair transplant, partly because I have done lots and lots of research on hair, and I am actually coming up with a new video on hair. Like, for example, I'll just give a short example of your own hair. You have curly hair, like those people who have curly hair. If you have, like, just like our skin, our oil scalp also produces oil. But then in those people with curly hairs, the oil doesn't get to distribute evenly into the shafts.
Oh, it never does.
Yes, that's why it leads to drier hair shafts and leads to more breakage, and it's more prone to breaking. And sometimes people confuse hair breaking with hair loss, which is different. Hair loss is the hair is falling from your roots. That is hair loss.
That's hair loss.
Hair breakage is inadequate care and weaker hair shaft.
It
That
breaks
can
from
be-
between. That's what
Yes.
the breakage is.
Yeah, so for somebody with curly hair, it is better to comb it with wide combs while it's still wet. I'm sure you know that already because you've had your hair for a long time, so I'm sure you already know, but I've come to know this quite late. So somebody with curly hair, you can like after you wash your hair, you can comb your hair gently while it's still wet. Not wait for it to completely dry out because it'll tangle more. So more it tangles, more it breaks. One that. Second is somebody with curly hair, since you know that your shafts are not nourished enough, it doesn't get oil, you need to use conditioners regularly with each wash. And conditioners, there are many different kinds of conditioners. So the type of conditioners again depends on the molecules. So you have to look at the ingredients. I think youth now, those who are very aware about skincare, people who think they know everything about skincare, even they do not know about each ingredient. So it's high time, I think, you study the ingredients and find out what's good for your hair. For example, you would benefit with something that has silicone or that's available as dimethicone, and something that is more hydrating, the hydrating kind of polymers, you call them polymers. There's something with acrylate. So these are the things you look for in a conditioner when you look for a conditioner for dried and damaged hair, which is different for somebody who has oily hair.
सो कपालको लागि पनि यहाँले जब प्रडक्ट्सहरू लिनुहुन्छ त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ कपाल ओइली छ कि कपाल ड्राई छ कि जसरी छालाको लागि हेरिन्छ त्यसरी नै लिनुपर्ने हुन्छ यु हेभ टु बी भेरी कसियस अबाउट हाउ यु चुज यर प्रडक्ट डिपेन्डिङ अन हाउ ड्राई एन्ड हाउ ओइली इट इज
And whether it's colored, damaged or not, because there's one big problem. There's a large chunk of girls with oily hair and dry shaft. I mean, oily scalp and dry hair because of like blow drying, forceful combing, and even when you do permanent straightening, when you straighten the hair, the chemicals go deep inside the hair and it changes the entire hair molecule. It changes the hair structure itself. So those hairs are definitely more prone to breakage and damage. So you have to use conditioners and even oils. Those people who have actually I'm giving out everything that's coming in my videos, but still I'll tell one more thing. If you have any very dry and damaged and split ends prone hair, you can take a small amount of coconut oil and apply it to the tips before you wash your hair, because when you use an oil, it'll create a barrier and will not allow the shampoo to go into the hair and swell it further or make it breakage prone. So that's one thing you can do if you have very dry kind of a shaft and you are tired of split ends.
But the social media thing is, again, I'm just going to come back to that because there was this big long article about how coconut oil is not really helpful to your hair growth or in any way, though you just said that you can apply it on the tip.
Well, I'm not aware about that.
So त्यो एउटा सर्कुलेट भइरहेको थियो कि मेबी स्क्याल्पमा लाउनु पर्दैन भन्न खोज्नु भएको कि उहाँहरूले हैन.
Okay, so there are newer studies, American study, European studies, not Eastern studies, which have done study on each each oil, be it coconut oil, Moroccan argan oil, be it castor oil, hemp seed oil, all forms of jojoba oil, all forms of oils have been tested, and trials have shown that coconut oil increases the hair length as well as hair diameter. So it's definitely good for the hair, but those people who say who should not use oil on the hair is probably because there is a large number of people, younger people especially, who have very oily hair. So when you already have oil in your hair, why would you need that? So I'm only talking about those people who have very dry hairs with split ends. They can use oil. But if you have oily hair, your hair has lots of dandruff. On top of that, if you're putting oil on top of that, you're just clogging it further. So in those cases, you should not be using oil. You'll clog the pores and then there'll be bumps in the scalp. Girls are developing even boys are developing lots of bumps in the scalp because of too much of oil activity, oil, dirt, and then chemical, and it's been clogged, and there's a new school of thought about no poo and then no shampoo and so many things. So because of that, the dandruff is just worsening.
Okay.
So there are certain cases where you can use oil and benefit very well, but some people might get worse with oils.
No, it makes sense. Yes. It makes sense. All right, boys, so I just have a fun question, and we're going to end our session with that. Okay. How often do you see boys in your clinic?
I
who
see
come
lots
up with
of
their skin and
boys.
hair problems.
Boys come more for the hair rather than for the skin because I do hair transplants. So I see lots of men rather than boys. I see men who are older than 25 more frequently. But yes, younger boys also come, especially in their teens who are into TikTok, who are into YouTube. They do come. No, I'm not saying they are come because they do TikTok, but because since they are into social media, they are more aware. They don't come to look good, but then they're more aware that yes, its treatment is available. If I don't do the treatment now, for example with acne, if I don't treat my horrible acne now, I'll get scars for life. So because of that understanding and that kind of awareness, so that's good about social media.
No.
Boys do come.
Few things to
Yes.
thank social media for,
Yes.
doctor, I guess.
Yes.
सो इट्स रियली नाइस. मैले चाहिँ यो किन भनेको भन्दाखेरि हामीहरू खालि स्किन भन्ने बित्तिकै स्किन कपाल होइन छाला कपालको कुरा गर्ने बित्तिकै जहिले पनि केटीहरूलाई मात्र एसोसिएट गर्छौँ होइन. त्यही भएर मलाई चाहिँ थाहा पाउनु मन थियो कपाल भनेपछि धेरै जस्तो चाहिँ कपाल झरिसकेको सरहरू आउनुहुन्छ होला होइन. आई थिङ्क इट्स सच अ नाइस थिङ द्याट हुन्छ नि देयर आर थिङ्स लाइक हेयर ट्रान्सप्लान्ट एन्ड स्टफ हु क्यान रियली
Restore.
restore
your
that
look.
sort of,
Restore your
because
look.
I really feel like hair is something हुन्छ नि you can really
It's an asset. You can
it's
flaunt
asset,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
You can be very happy of. No offense to anyone who doesn't have hair, but you know, I really feel that हुन्छ नि त्यो कपाल hair transplant is one of my favorite things that I see. Fake कुराहरूमा. Just saying.
It's very rewarding for that person, you know. It's very, very satisfying. I've done hair transplant in a 23-year-old boy. So we did a live session with him as well last time, and like he looks completely different. It's transformed, you know, his self-esteem. And that boy had not put any picture in his Facebook for 3 years.
Oh my god.
And now he keeps posting picture every second week, and my husband keeps sending it to me. Look at him. It looks really nice. And he looks really nice.
Exactly. I think
Yes.
one of the best things that dermatologists and everything, all these fake things come with hair transplant is my favorite. Just letting everyone know. So thank you so much, doctor, for today's
Thank you.
conversation. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you for the
So many
invite.
information, and I realized that skin ma pani कति धेरै अझ एपिसोडहरु गर्न सकिन्छ जस्तो लाग्यो है. So anything you want to end, anything you want to say to our audiences before we end?
Thank you, the Good Health. Thank you, Nishma ji, for inviting me, and it was really good to be here. And it's quite fun, you know. The previous ones different from the where I had to go, and I used to be prepared. But this one's really fun. Thank you so much. And for the audience, please do good research before you put anything on your skin. It's your own skin, right? So do good amount of research. Follow doctors. There are so many doctors in social media now. It's not like before. You have so many doctors, especially in TikTok. There are so many doctors. So why don't you follow doctors instead of like just randomly following a trend or randomly following something that's good for somebody else?
Yes. That's a very nice message. अहिलेको समयमा सामाजिक सञ्जालमा जसलाई पाए त्यसलाई फलो गर्नु भन्दा पनि टिकटक भन्नुभयो उहाँले, म त भन्छु इन्स्टाग्राम, युट्युब सबैतिर डक्टर्सहरू हुनुहुन्छ. सानसानो इन्फर्मेसन, राम्रो इन्फर्मेसनहरू उहाँले दिइरहनु भएको हुन्छ. डिएम्स गर्दा पनि भयो. अनि त्यसपछि बल्ल यहाँहरूले मजाले उहाँहरूमै रिसर्च गरेर चाहिँ अनि त्यसपछि यहाँले भेट्न गए पनि भयो होइन ट्रिटमेन्टको लागि. आई थिङ्क द्याट्स one of the best thing that you can do, and use social media properly, especially when it comes to your own skin and hair, right? Yes. Okay, thank you so much, doctor. It was really fun talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
And with this, I hope यहाँले धेरै इन्फर्मेसन पाउनुभयो होला छालाको बारेमा, कपालको बारेमा. Thank you so much for watching today's podcast. I'm Nishma signing out from The Good Health today. You stay safe, stay healthy.